This is very Wednesday. This is a very, if I'm not wrong, at my virtual Microsoft clock I have Wednesday, November 12th. This is 10:11 at this one service local hour this morning. Forgive me the pajamas, please. You know what? Just the saying which the tellers that generates already still making a rate of obsessive vices, them disgusting shedim bat basa ataku legion of hell. With evangelics career of Sodoma which that generates, which already knows, and the train, oh, I said first, have you seen? He says what we tell you to do. And the whole obsessive that generates cerebro de estiércol, idolatry of, oh really? Oh, you're my favorite cat. And in the middle of this all, the reality of the simplicity, of the clear fact of telling, but he is in pajamas. Who told you that this person slept out of its house? I'm telling you the thing like the tellers PERRA sucia sodomitas Argentina still thirst to say that they makes me say, and they says first, and they can corroborate, and I will guess them, but I will make and say that guessing also to them, which will be a crime, and also the psychopath patterns associating psychopathologically, says the perra degeneradas psicópatas, diablos enfermos cerebros de estiércol. Policía Federal Argentina, SIDE, and the Secretary of National Security Argentina, de la mierda KIRSCNERS. In the middle of this all, the reality is the simplicity. Do you consider that having us pajamas can be the clear fact of I will sleep or not in my house? Can this make a difference? Do you consider that I sleep with clothes on will mean the reality I do being all the night in juerga all around and just having any class of a pattern that will mean whatever the association with chunky tour like they defines, drug addiction tour or alcoholism or prostitution or homosexuality or any class of demons? Do you conceive that the possibility I to be doing this video will mean that I will be sick or needing of medication? Do you conceive that my condition being in pajamas and standing at this way seated and having this class of expression means that I be a homosexual or a prostitute or a delusional conceit at the capacity to pretend to be emulating like a woman? Do you consider that if I do this, it will mean I will want to seduce police agents? Do you consider that if I open my legs and come like this that you cannot see with my fingers right on top of the floor will mean pretending to be like a woman and starting to act for what I will be? You know what? Do you consider the reality I to make a video will mean I to be needed of medication? Do you consider I to tell them in words much of times forced and other times in the full vehemence to tell them the disgusting they are in the whole of the violence will be to need medications? Do you consider the possibility whenever I behave as ever I behave that I will be manipulating anyone around, and the terms that I will use to mean that any one of this class of a damn hell shit pretending to say that they makes me speak by mind control or I to make mind control about the speaking a language that I wouldn't understand, like the one I'm using now, in the terms I use and I speak in the way I do, that this will be needing medications. Do you consider that the photo I just edited at this last night that I presented myself after the first that I just exposed in that park in Palermo myself with my Android, which still isolated and with no possibility to be with my friends because of they are incriminated in a series of destructive crimes that they will ever do with me, at the reality that try all the time also to make the possibility they do suffer but another way because of this is gotta be done for the false power for they to be raped and murdered with them families. And further this, I to doing myself to be like they will be doing in a settings in a very private park while they will be me up with the damn disgusting sizes all inside and fill me with semen that they said the first I ever uploaded direct from my cell phone after destroyed my property, and 2 photos seems like virus inside my Android and I couldn't transfer into my laptop and produce a whole of the images and time enough to forging and making porn over the photo I taken myself with my Android, also lying in the same ground in that upon grandma upon flowers at that same already pictured long ago park myself, for they too whenever I upload them because of the photo are perfect to look like a very semen or some weird whitey thing in my lips telling that were a set for porn that I will do or they will be, and I will offer myself and also signating documents for they to do and taking and publishing and saying, oh yes I done, give me that piece because of that's my payment and I cannot live without it. All for a C-word, fathers. And kept on murdering, destroying and attacking their own families like all the temperament I did, like long ago I just said, saying that the wives and the wholest husbands, whenever they are to be ready and finished enough, they will be caving for massive rape and murder. Because of this is what every time we're doing, even them own mothers. And Christina Kirchner applauding and that damn disgusting whore of hell there's to saying that is right of her to making and staging whatever that the generation in front of anything and anybody to pretending, oh my God, would you believe that? And the whole generation all behind the machinery of perras pedófilas. Oficialismo. Manipulación degenerada. Perritas degeneradas. At the reality of this all, will you consider I too have my 025, 050 rest of the sight glasses, and this position and my pajama will mean to making a very the intellectual fetish porn for, because of this is what are trying to forge right now with this as well. While murders and rapes all around and kept the whole of the night making the damn witchcraft and the damn evangelists of them telling the same all over and telling that it had to be what they said. And kept on making the whole abomination and telling that I were the whole night in a very rugged of Sodoma phalluses all over wherever I whole had, that they were but 3 inside, which they do to women and some of my men, with all class of practices like pia sodomies, and destroying and bleeding them and hitting them the hell out and breaking them bones and kept and keeps the massive rapes and murders even families complete, and pregnant. And this is a pattern for expertises. The same, I have a very profuse cough up for the reason of some witch degenerate and some PERRAZA evangelic, affecting the reality of FARUTAH'KASHOTA'AVAJIT that they studied permanently so long. Or simplicity, I have some on the fiber of some trees, like the balls that I published long ago, which are seed spores all over, which is insufferable at the springtime and before of the paradise tree around, or the insput lactu mensmathia, and is insufferable, and I am not allergic. This is a reaction I got on my genetic protein synthesis, and I cut coughs and really are insufferable to be for marijuana, when I never ever touched not even a simple disgusting cigar of no class, unless this. Do you consider that I speak and say this to be clear fact that I'm 14 and I'm a fraud? For the reason of they says is an incapable and cannot speaking no language, not even Spanish at the right way, not even to be the possibility this person to be nearing at the clear fact that he can produce some wealth for no class. But Cristina Fernández de Kirchner officialism and all perra sucia arrastrada of them, y sodomita, y sus perras evangelistas. Do you consider that I will be forging this? And this, that I am shown up in a video that I myself record, is no permitted, not permission given for I to do and show myself to be a forger because of the comments, and to be a pattern that can be truth because of there is a trollo degenerado with a badge and with a uniform to take out a trouser open for jump up and anybody to gotta be blowing or I kill you all. Excuse for and gotta be that because if there is a trollo degenerado with a badge and a uniform ready for whatever and gotta be because of the command, because of they shows they had a badge and a uniform saying I'm a government. This gotta be this. Is that a pattern? Is that an excuse to saying because of we are the right of government and we command and we are government and we know what we do, gotta remain this way because of we understand what we're doing, to be accepted and obeyed at the reality that for has a title which as squatters but less humanity remaining gotta be the way they says, while are producing that the generation ever and are abominable over less humanity living. To be a right and an excuse to accept also the same for the patriot, for whatever uses and manipulative terms and slogans or whatever them spit shit up. To be justifiable because of they says for the patriot. Even to massive rape and murder and genocide for the patriot is excusable and justifiable. And it's a pattern that I gotta be the whole delivers shit in the head with a fart of the goddamn cuerpo médico forense degenerados supposed new galaxy. And I will need medication for that as well, for the patriot, for a bunch of trollos degenerados violadores de todo género y toda edad, y su maldita prostituta, creída reina del cielo, Cristina Kirchner. Do you consider this is? Also, let's go in a little bit further, even the tellers degenerados already saying, oh, he's gonna say this now, and we are the glorious wizards of Palvatsu Bokura Belakane Malacha. Come and get in my business, I'm gonna make you dream with my phallus and my semen in, for you to be my sacrifice. y las perras enfermas estúpidas, with the burden of victims, follows them. And, oh yes, I'm first! Well, let's go a little further. Do you consider having more than 40 is pattern to happy to taking psychiatric medications for the market of matasanos degenerados, perras pedófilas y maricas brujas con título psiquiatra? Do you consider that a person that doesn't work is excused to internate and putting under medication whenever you don't know neither the beginning, not the last, not the first, and not the finished on the soul? When you don't even understand the prime, not the ending. When you don't even can see in the middle except a patch, a jumping trousers, big trouser for the being at them shit Sodoma all over, and caritas de desesperadas maricas por violar y matar y robar, jugando a expertos del gobierno nacional y de Cristina Kirchner. That is to be being mismedicated and needing of medication. And do you consider that having a title of forensic for the making the market of the day in the middle of the whole lacra degenerada that they live so often for, atrofiados degenerados cerebros de la mierda de Sodoma, to be a pattern with a pardon of fire? For they supposed expertises, internate, medicate, and saying cannot live without medication, with a person that only seen 4 times, with a so few minutes talking, and the rest, Federal Police of Argentina said, and we are the government, and we know what we do, and we are the expertises. We don't need no much more time, and we can show you our expressionism and techniques that we can express, also with the ways to expressing and communicating the person in the whole. So suddenly, is needing medication. Sorry, that's grotesque. And also, if I comment, I need to making an intestinal gas that we have been talking so long with this. I will just trying to control the sphincter, and there to not be in the middle of a situation that, oh my God, is needing medications. And also that I cannot move and I cannot go to no bathroom or no place that I can normally, physiologically, smoothly, delicately, having a moment like humanly, in my state, in my situation, I can handle such a condition to be needed of medication. And also that I've been speaking for some class of human states, that if I will ever need having sex, because of I don't do it, nothing for, and I don't express the reality of a sexuality like they says to having a normal life, and supposedly not doing it, not to come to blowjob because of they says they commands that will be needing medications, because of I don't obey them. And you consider that the possibility that I don't smoke, I don't masturbate, I don't use no drugs, I don't use nothing like alcohol, I don't have nightlife, I don't have go out except certain things, and I to be all the time alone lately, to be needed of medication being. And you consider that take the whole powers away because of weak men to be needed of medications being, and the identifying of diablas degeneradas by arts of witches and selective divinatory witchcraft processes that they seize in the field, the whole that is at the guessing, but they are not God and they are just demonias degeneradas, watching some things and organizing and trying to the expertise perra sucia Kirschner, maricas degeneradas y prostitutas de cuarta, overwatching where the holes and what's better to join and seeking who, where, when, what, to making a very machinery and a very sketch of the situation and ahead for the plan, to saying how better to disguise and making the corruption and the destruction for there to match what they need, to saying we are national security and for head a badge, and you say no, gotta be needing of medication and also go to murder whoever to show it is exactly what I say. you consider that is a pattern of expertise, una maldita sucia marica bruja, violador asesino de todo lo que encuentra con un agujero con piernas, y diciendo que es autoridad y manda. Is a pattern for the patriot, justifying, and government being, and murder whoever to be around and say, get out, piece of a scum degenerado, because of you or nothing like that, and goes to murder all around and take them for them as a rape and murder, and oh, okay, that is ready, that is enough, take the wife of that and take her away and put her right around there for she to be around, and we just to end that. Needing of medication of me? And do you consider the possibility that if I will ever come to having sex, will be needing of medications being? Because of, I think I am wholly of cat. And do you think that for non-smoking, non-drinking, and I don't know, I don't have nightlife, and I don't masturbate, and I don't see porn, I will be needed of medication, and telling also, because if I deny it, that I will ever need medication for more, because of they're the liars that I will too, but the perras sucias maricas expertos, perras degeneradas, Policía Federal Argentina makes up and forges all the time, and because of they says they commence can be done that way. Y sus perras degeneradas forenses, except for the five, doesn't stop to delivering that they commence, and it's what they says that can be done. And they cannot fail with me, and it's exactly what they says. And cada prostituta acá is saying, Ave, fart of the rectum of Sodoma forensic, I shall be your creation within. Telling they are right because of they has the badge of perra sucia, and that will be mismedicated being of me, and also making damages, and my family gotta pay for this because of the demons were not controlled, and it's not contained because of there doesn't exist as a treatment, a serious thing, and the family itself is saying, well, the family doesn't has not idea, and deflectively they identifies things which are not inducted by and conducted by the degeneration machinery, perras and farmastezo. And that is a pattern of truth, of expertises of mental health, and I will need medication, and this will be all delirium. And the simplicity to hearing will be just to say, oh, because of you're a doctor and I see you, and you can hit me, and you have your flower upon the whole of the Blecha Belchini for the whole of the fellows to come up and saying, let's get in. She's adorably murderer and genocider. Let's get excited and let's make it a party. What share you want of it? To be needing of medications on me. Because of there is a goddamn perra sucia with a title saying, oh, I know and I see this, and gotta be this way. That is a pattern enough for the saying, I gotta need medication, and I gotta be internated, and I gotta be in jail, and my family to pay, and everybody to die for the patriot because of their commands, and they gotta accept them destination over the super trollo degenerado argentino to become government of the world with our lives. And because if I say it is mismedicating being. Do you consider that I to remain in this house? And because of I am not working while rot works all over and made in the whole class of an institutional, whole class of a social, whatever the environment as the normal recurrent human life around any population, any community, any living style, whatever it is to be, destroying me all around and threatening to destroy anyone to giving me a job and comes because of doesn't work needs medication while we're threatening to murder people if anyone will ever give it to me, like to Mercedes-Benz Argentina and much other. Because of don't you dare to contradict an order of the president of Argentina and you attempt against the government if you do this. And I need medication because of I don't work. and Perra Sucia Prem were all behind this, and Perra Sucias United Evangelics were all behind this permanently, for this to be this way, telling that I will have the deserved but the Lord, because if I touched them, and Lord wouldn't ever endorse not reality of my personality, will never be capable of nothing, because if they said Lord never gave me a thing. And that will be mismedicated needing and being. Because of mismedicated needing, for they to accede into, we told you he's not. Besides, you consider any class of a pattern of this, that even because of there is a marica alzada with a trouser ready for any rape of whatever to found in a way, I gotta be the faggest in the world? And the same any woman, the whorest in the world, because of puto delirante, thinks that gotta be that way for the world to understand that they commands. And for the, well, she's a whore and we have it all here and he signed this, which never happened. For we have the right for whoever and whatever wants to carry around, they can do it. You're not gonna forbid us. Or him, or them, or Anya, or Israel. We are all fagistes and whorestes for the class trollo degenerado Sodoma to become the glorious trollo enfermo puto atrofiado in the whole of the world. La diabla en el cielo, which never is gonna happen, and I'm sorry the words, forgive me please, I apologize, but it's exactly the picture. And we gotta be, because of, they are the puto encelo degenerado alzado to become the powerest perra sucia diabla above whatever to wants to amontate them the generation. And because of a woman were all the time in harms at the reality that never understood a thing, and not a reality that you understood, you and I. Is the reality to taking, because of the mother said, psychodiagnosis. Is that a pattern to be a demon and in the medication? And any degenerado telling and making up and a comprising, whatever it should be, for there to taking as ever chances to saying. He's doing always saying we saw it. Well, saw it means my share. And the reality of this, because of it's an evangelic, and everyone says the same, and they said they saw it, there goes the one that robbed to the evangelics, because of there is an evangelic title upon, and Federal Police of Argentina Sodoma behind, is pattern enough to say yes he did. I have been 12 years in a lifetime suffering this shit. And 12 years day and night fighting them and being destroyed, and I saw all gender, all age massively raped, slaughtered, destroyed, murdered, genocide, families complete, pregnancy, marriages, and my people, my nation being trampled and destroyed and tortured and mutilated on and on for the perras and celo, for whatever there to mean power, money, and prestigious and glory of prostitutas erected by the symphalis of Sodoma, with the title gotta be because of we are. And you think this is pattern enough to say because of he said this and has the denial psychobattery criminal pattern gotta be that way? Because of we cannot be telling lies, because of we are evangelic, the first fraud of all, the first generation brazen crap of all. And because of everybody said the same, we cannot mistake, when this is not about mistaking, but accomplices for this in a very big number of hell shit to be pardoned enough for a person to be that what they has us market for above whatever they can stench. Stegli kapatnema. as shit they dislike forever. I'm gonna give you certain things and I'm gonna show you some other. The state brought me in a very situation that certain quack is gonna be trying to come home, but still used my mother and Perra Sucia Policía Federal Argentina already spoken with the son of a snake, supposedly Bebelacqua, Emilio, that only works to address and wouldn't be nothing but a cuerpo médico forense. Supposed good, fantastic, matasano degenerado hijo de perra. So, the plefachma chalikim of plefachma seveshkal chanechinimiti. Let's talking about this. Third to saying that I were signating them as the generations they forwarded all around, and I've been part of it. And degenerados, Perrolandia, Prostitutolandia, Brain Crudo Carnival Cabrera Nacondia, telling, oh yes, we saw it. And Aníbal Fernandez is the core of it, and the responsible permanently, with a robbery upon my person and my life, and controlling a machinery of the generation with the president of Argentina. And this will be mismedication being as well, and needing of medications. Do you think the possibility either have a laptop or having something or a cell phone will be and implies the criticizing that could be robbed because if there is a patch with the jump out anytime trouser bleeding, the thirsty of a puto de Sodoma, sorry the word, forgive me, to be the reality that I will ever turn that. And because of fighting work and what do they live off? She is only a retired woman. And where is that whole money that has and why doesn't accede into that? And because of, do you think is pattern enough because of a trollo y trolla degenerado started to delirium to making the market upon my life and saying, because of we're government and we know it all? Yes, pattern enough to buy certain things and certain shit and some forgery, when the reality is simply, oh, my favorite shocked image, oh, come and take me and make me for your jumping trouser, the sacrifice of the day, or the whore of yours for upon the whole of the genocided, as you to come for your power to get. Pardon enough for the saying, oh yes, you're right. Any trolla y trollo degenerado considered of government is enough to the saying, oh yes, come, ave, trolla y trollo de Sodoma y Gomorra, come and make me, is pardon enough for? And to saying these terms is pardon enough to saying, cannot saying that terms and cannot having that culture for the words that it's using, and also the class of a terms that describes them from its mouth says, and also from saying those words, is any possibility this to be a royal of Israel or something of God? Any holy around? Is that pardon enough? Is any truth in this cast of hell, them lousy, trampled, rotten shit, to be any class of a element for truth? Give it this. Perdón Adonai por los términos, perdón Israel, Sion. Remafleje bishpatlaji, perdón señorías, your honors, Mr. President, justice bodies, people. Rifelekimot lebespat chamelchi bishku alfechalekimi, armetlech bishpot lemefechalekimi bishpot achlik pospotsua. Remalikimot lebespat chalikim sheichili, adchechalinov, shmot lemechibot sukuat tachim. Rechalikishev, adcheliki machanim, mefechal tishbok chulat ticha mashav machenam. And because of this is to be governed, is pardon enough that I produce and say this one to be an element for destruction and damages and defamation and slander and injuries, for there to saying, we gotta make a process and we gotta understand that this person is really in another class of conditions, and we gotta be careful because of we cannot allow this, and we cannot say and how dare and going to murder people because of you helped them and you helped them come to the jail, and you are gonna pay for what you done and what you said of the president for being massively raped and murdered them and them families. And power enough to saying because of this done gotta be in jail or internated, and it doesn't accept at last internation and medication, gotta be in jail, and the family recognize that he've done a damage, so they gotta pay for. And if there is a demand because of the degree of responsibility, says the perra sucia, of self-conscience, that should ever be treated and making what we say to be paranoid enough of truth, because of they has a badge, a title, and a jumping trouser of perra sucia marica, for whatever to found in the way saying because of we command he mistaken here. Gletamal flecha bespechli shechali kimihi, gletama flecha bespechli chimesechali kimesefechat, gishucha alachem. The remaflech but potleves kimesefechol chali shechi matzevechalem. And 2,104,804 more persons, and 619,104 more families were kidnapped in the whole of the region for massive rape and murder by PERRA oficialista y su PERRA donasur in the whole of the region. And this will be enforced because of I have some culture and I cannot have the capacity or the level for express the way I did. Further terms gotta be done by perros trolazos, Policía Federal Argentina and Fuerzas Armadas, to saying for the control of the population and trying to hunt any other. And this is something like recurrently its friends also forces for they to show that the person is nothing like we say, because of attempts and conspire against us all the time for the land wanting. I'm gonna put in ashes your damn shit of a land and you with that, perra enferma. And I'm gonna enjoying it. And your damn shit Sodoma, perras enfermitas, alzadas. Por violación, poder y robo. Pedazo de prostituta baja barata. Blefach mochali vesfeshe vechadhini, drema blefechadi ishmatna vefechadhatika, anshmetatasut, remachali kimesua tamev. And if I do, I don't know. I will need medications, because if I deny that, there will be no homosexual. And this is being homosexual. Are you kidding me? Sick shit. I'm giving you https www. Estúpidos y degenerados delante del nombre de Adonai, acéfalos por los siglos, por la realidad de Hashem, quien arriba reina por los siglos. Enfermedad degenerada, peligrosa entre todos los hombres, no para subestimar perras de Sodoma y Gomorra, entendiendo la justicia es la muerte de cada uno y el entierro eterno por los siglos de su maldita casta. DRM 4849, con su gran maldita ramera, la enfermedad y el genocidio mundial, RDMCP DXT DN9 1319 middle cis middle code duck. This is KUIOHTA KT 1319.90 F6 last key and cleaner my site, F19 on the Blethkat system, which will be F4 at the whatever the referent for programming function key. The last play this is in New York. This is again November 12th 2014 10:51, and because of I have the level And I say the whole I say with a supposed crack, just guesses around and knows too much and guess the government. Because of they knows what they do is a pattern for being medicated and suppressed. And lobotomized because of they says, I damage the nation and the world. And I ill people because of I say and show the truth and also lead for that to understand what not and what don't. And saying because of he produces the murderers that this does and provokes them to be truth. Alejandro Mario Blanco, Academy, Buenos Aires. Sick of them, and I'm gonna end them. Shut up.